Okay, so everyone loves a good nonstick pan.
Yeah, who wants to spend time scrubbing burnt food off a pan?
Exactly. But have you ever thought about how they actually get that nonstick coating?
It's honestly more complicated than you might think.
It really is.
Yeah.
We found this document all about an innovative cookware coating system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it's going to totally change how you look at your frying pan.
For real?
For real.
Interesting.
The document goes into detail about how important that nonstick coating is.
Right.
It's not just about convenience.
No.
It's about performance, like how evenly food cooks, how durable the pan is,
Yeah.
even how it looks hanging in your kitchen.
Absolutely. And the real challenge is achieving that perfect coating across all those different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Like wokes, skillets, stock pots.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, they all have their own quirks.
That's true.
And this document highlights
What is it?
Bullows Paint Equipment as a company that's really taking this challenge seriously.
How are they doing it?
Well, they've combined what's called a 3-axis automation machine with a water wash paint booth.
Whoa, that sounds like straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
But tell me more.
It is kind of futuristic. Think of it like a robotic arm with a paint sprayer.
Okay.
But this arm can move in 3 dimensions, like with crazy precision. So it can coat even the most complex shapes.
So that means every little nook and cranny is perfectly nonstick.
Exactly.
So no more of those weird spots that wear off quickly.
Nope.
I've definitely had that problem before.
Yeah, and the robot isn't just spraying randomly either.
Okay.
It's all controlled by a PLC.
A PLC?
Yeah, it stands for programmable logic control.
Okay.
It's basically the brains of the whole operation.
So they can actually program the robot
to
apply the coating differently depending on the pan.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
So think about it from a consumer perspective. This customization means less waste, more consistent finish, longer lasting pans.
So basically, more durable and eco-friendly pans.
Pretty much.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
But what about this water wash paint booth?
Oh,
What's that all about?
It's not just a place to clean the robot arm,
Okay.
It actually has a really important job.
What's that?
It captures all that extra paint spray,
Oh, okay.
So the working environment stays clean and there's no contamination.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But you said it's a water wash booth, right?
Yes.
So does that mean it uses water to catch the overspray?
Got it.
How does that work?
Well, first off, it makes the workplace cleaner and safer.
Right, because consumers are getting more and more concerned about how things are made.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then there's the environmental side of things.
Okay.
Using water instead of harsh chemicals means fewer of those nasty VOCs are released.
VOCs?
Yeah, volatile organic compounds.
Okay.
They're not good. So it's good news for the planet.
For sure. Sustainability seems like a big part of this whole system.
Definitely.
But how does this water wash system actually work?
Oh, it's super high tech.
Yeah.
Imagine this super efficient mist of water that basically attracts and binds to the paint particles in the air.
Interesting.
Pulls them down away from the freshly coated cookware.
Wow. That's impressive. So what happens to all that water with the paint in it?
Well, the system filters and treats it.
Okay.
Removes the paint particles so the water can be reused. Or disposed of safely.
So it's like a closed loop.
Yeah.
Incredible they've thought of everything.
And there's another benefit to this whole clean, controlled environment.
What's that?
Fewer dust particles and debris means the final coating is smoother and more flawless.
Okay. I can see how that would make the pan last longer.
For sure.
But does it also affect how it looks?
Absolutely.
Really?
You know that nice shine on a brand new nonstick pan? That's partly because of the dust-free environment of the water wash paint booth.
So it's not just about how well the pan works.
Yeah.
It's also about how it looks.
Exactly. Aesthetics are a big part of the consumer experience.
Totally. And this system delivers on all fronts, it seems.
Yeah. Performance, durability.
And that nice modern look that people want. This is all so fascinating.
Right.
And the fact that Bullows has so much experience in paint application.
Decades of it.
Just makes it even more impressive. They clearly know what they're doing.
They do, and they've specifically tailored this system to the needs of cookware,
I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, it's really interesting how they've taken this technology that's used elsewhere and adapted it for cookware.
I love that about these deep dives.
Yeah, that's that.
You start with something simple like a pan.
Right.
And end up in this whole world of technology and engineering.
Totally. But what do you think this all means for the production of cookware?
Yeah, how does this fancy system actually change things in the factory?
Well, imagine a production line where the pans are moving along and everyone gets a perfectly even coating thanks to the robot arm and the water wash paint booth.
I can picture that, but what are the benefits for the manufacturers?
Right.
And ultimately for us, the people who buy and use these pans?
Well, one of the biggest benefits is efficiency.
How so?
By automating the coating process, manufacturers can produce more cookware in less time.
So faster production means lower costs?
Exactly, and those savings can be passed on to the consumer.
Makes sense, but it's not just about speed and cost, right?
No, this system also cuts down on waste big time.
Oh.
The robot arm and the water wash system are so precise that very little paint is actually wasted.
So less waste means even more cost savings.
For both the manufacturers and for us.
That's awesome. A win-win.
Definitely. And of course, we can't forget about the quality.
Right.
This system makes cookware with a much better nonstick coating that's more durable and performs better.
Okay, so we've talked about all these benefits for manufacturers.
Right.
But how does it affect my experience in the kitchen?
Yeah, good question.
Like, what does it mean for how I cook clean and enjoy my cookware?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
A perfectly uniform coating,
Yeah.
Applied with robotic precision in a dust-free environment.
Right.
That means better nonstick properties.
Okay.
Your food will just slide around.
Nice.
You use less oil.
And cleaning will be easier.
Exactly. No more scraping and scrubbing.
I like the sound of that. Less frustration, more time enjoying cooking.
Exactly. And the coating is more durable, too.
Yeah.
So your pans will hold up better to everyday use.
So fewer replacements.
Yeah.
Less waste and less money spent on new cookware.
You got it.
That's what I call sustainable cooking.
For sure.
But, it's not just about being practical for me.
I hear you.
I want my cookware to look good, too.
Of course.
Like, it has to be aesthetically pleasing in my kitchen.
I understand. Does the system deliver on that?
Yeah, does it?
Absolutely. Remember that flawless, shiny finish we talked about? Well, that's not just about looks.
Oh, okay.
It's also a sign of a high-quality coating.
Oh, I see.
That's been applied really carefully.
And precisely.
And honestly, a beautiful pan just makes cooking more enjoyable.
Right.
Automation often shifts the types of jobs that are available.
So instead of manual labor.
Yeah, you start to see more demand for skilled technicians,
Okay.
engineers, programmers.
People who can work with these machines.
Exactly.
So it's more about the job market evolving as technology changes.
I think that's a good way to put it.
And in this case, with the cookware coating system,
Yes.
the robots might handle the precision coating,
Right.
but you still need humans to oversee everything.
To make sure the quality is good and things run smoothly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that balance,
Yeah.
between human expertise and automation.
Exactly. And what do you think this means for manufacturing as a whole?
Yeah.
Oh.
What does it tell us about the future?
I think it points towards a future where sustainability and efficiency are really important.
In what way?
Well, manufacturers are under a lot of pressure to reduce their environmental impact.
Yeah, reduce waste
And produce high-quality products.
at competitive prices.
Exactly. And this cookware coating system is a good example of how they can do that.
So it's not just about making better pans.
No.
It's about making the whole system more sustainable.
I think that's a good way to look at it. The system is kind of a microcosm of a larger trend.
What do you mean?
Well, we're seeing this shift in lots of industries.
Towards automation and sustainability.
Yes. Companies are realizing that sustainability isn't just a bonus anymore.
Right.
It's essential if they want to stay competitive.
That's pretty encouraging. That makes me feel hopeful.
Me too.
That we can move towards a future where manufacturing is good for the planet and for business.
Absolutely. The thing I find most inspiring is that innovation never stops.
Right.
It's always pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And like we've seen with this cookware coating system, innovation can benefit both businesses and consumers.
Absolutely. And at the same time, it can help us create a more sustainable future. Let's take a moment to think about what we've learned so far.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot.
We have robotic arms, water wash booths.
The future of manufacturing.
Consumer choices. It's been quite a journey.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest takeaway is that innovation is everywhere.
Even in the most ordinary things.
Like non-stick pans, and it's driven by technology, by what consumers want, and by this growing need for sustainability.
So the next time you're using your favorite non-stick pan,
Yeah.
think about the journey it took to get to your kitchen.
And remember that you have the power to change how things are made.
By supporting companies that are doing things the right way.
For the planet and for people.
Well said. And to our listeners, keep those questions coming.
Keep exploring.
And keep diving deep until next time. Happy cooking.